People like to compare Star Wars and Star Trek, and I never quite understood why. People will ask, Star Wars or Star Trek? I think they're too different for them to be an or question. Yes, they both have star in the title, and yes, they both take place largely on spaceships and alien planets, and they involve aliens and the pew pew noise, but they're fundamentally different. And here's how. Star Wars is about a very clear-cut good versus evil. The good triumphs over the evil, of course. And there's very little gray area in between. Yeah, you've got like Lando Calrissian and all that stuff, but everything sorts itself out by the end. No character ends in a gray area. Star Trek, largely, is more about debates on ethics and morality. You know, the antagonists in individual episodes aren't necessarily evil. You know, in the newer movies, it does tend to be like a destroy the world and then the good guys. But in the older episodes, it's all very much asking if whose life is worth more and if we have the right to make these kinds of decisions and things like that. I think a big problem with the way people treat people today is that they're basing it on a good versus evil dynamic. They're basing it on a false binary. Every binary is a false binary, fun fact. Keep that in mind. But Star Trek is closer to the real world. There's not a Darth Vader, although it'd be cool if there was. There's not a Darth Vader. There's not a Luke. There's no Jedi and Sith. There's just people at cross purposes. I am as guilty as anyone of accusing people of being evil. Our current sitting president and his vice president and their gang, cabinet, that's the word for it. It's really, really hard to not do that. But I've been working on it, personally, on not hating. And I realized I really don't think I have it in me to hate. Because the people that I would hate, I mostly just pity for being so ignorant and so angry and so full of meanness and hate in their lives. Like Mike Pence, why do you want to electrocute the gay out of me? Why? What have I ever done to you? What did the gays ever do to you? What's the deal? I feel sorry for Mike Pence because he doesn't understand. I feel sorry for every racist, homophobic, neo-Nazi out there because they don't understand and they apparently don't want to understand. I can't imagine having a mindset like that of just immediately X-naying anyone other because they are other, by the default of them being other. I must hate them. I wasn't raised that way. I pity anyone who was raised that way. It seems like a miserable, sad existence. So I'm gonna stop calling people evil. And I'm not trying to preach. I understand the catharsis that can be found in venting one's frustrations. Trust me, I can vent. But as much as we want to blow up the Death Star, sometimes the answer is far harder, more complex, and grayer. It's not so easy. You can't just blow it up, and yeah, I know blowing up the Death Star wasn't easy, okay? Rogue One died so that they could blow up the Death Star. I understand that, but if we look at the way the problems are solved in Star Trek, and I'm taking this metaphor too far, and I know that, it requires a lot more thought. Not just bravery, but thought and planning. Not from Captain Kirk, of course, but, you know, there's other people there who think for him. So that's all I really have to say on this. The issues of today are not black and white. They are shades of gray. Hey? See what I did there? With the lighting? Listen, all I'm saying is don't hate people. Try to understand and try to make them understand. And if they can't, I don't know what to do if they can't. We can't kill them. We can't blow up the Death Star. We just have to grin and bear it, work through it, and maybe one day we will be in a Star Trek kind of world where we don't hate each other based on race, where Chekhov can work alongside Sulu, who can work alongside Uhura, who can work alongside Spock, who's not even from Earth, mostly. But we can't get there with all this hate in the world. I'm distressed and sleep deprived. Can you tell?